right. Let's see. I believe that we are feeding out to the folks out there. If we are feeding out to you live on Utreon, let us know, guys. And also, give me an audio check right now. Let me know how my audio sounds. Andy, you can go ahead and talk also.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I know yesterday Walter's audio was a little loud and mine was really quiet. So first of all, I apologize to everyone for that watches it either on Utreon, YouTube, or if you listen to it on iTunes. But just let me know. I want to make sure my audio is coming in good. Jade Grew says we're live. Appalachian Gunrunner says sounds good. Jade Grew says sound is good. All right, awesome. That being said, I do want to remind everyone to go to hankstrange.com. Sign up for the email list over there. Look around the site. That's the place to go. You can find out all the different platforms we're on. If you're watching this later when we put it up on YouTube, we are doing this on Utreon, so I could go like this. And man, I don't think I've shown my KSG in a while. Oh, I think I even have this on here so I could put a suppressor. I totally forgot. Should have brought that suppressor with me too. So that's why we're doing all this. And you can find us if you want to join us live here and get your comments and stuff like that in on the chat. We're on Utreon. That is Utreon, and we usually do this Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Tonight is our last night this week. The van has to go in for work, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff I have going on through the end of the week. I'm not going to be able to make it to the Gundies, unfortunately, but rest assured I'm going to be working out there. And then also after this, later on tonight on YouTube /Stranger Palooza, we're going to have a premiere of a very cool, if you're into Sprinter vans, if you're into vans at all, I have a video on the 144 Sprinter vans. That's the short 19-foot ones. And we could talk about that later as we get into it. All right, Andy of Hightower Armory, are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
Okay, absolutely. I'm going to start everything. There's going to be some stuff here in the opening, and let's do it.
Welcome back to the Hank Strange Situation, Lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded.
We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Franklin Armory. Franklin Armory provides 100% US-made firearms and awesome binary option triggers. Their focus and purpose is to provide freedom tools to all Americans, especially those in not-so-free states. So when you're in the market, please consider Franklin Armory. All right, let's see. We are live. Let's get the jazz hands going. Come on, Andy. Jazz hands. All right. I hope you guys have your big girl panties on out there on Utreon. We are live. This is episode 869 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. My guest tonight is Andy of Hightower Armory. Joining us. There he goes. They've got a new stock announcement. I don't know. I'm assuming, yeah, your image there is a little bit, but I think you're. I don't know if that's me. I know I'm out on
Am I
highways.
blurry?
Yeah, a little bit, but I think you're good. You're going in and out, but I think
Okay.
we're good right now. But I'm on the highways. Hopefully my signal's good. It could be my fault. Yeah, Lola says we're doing good here. So, Andy, what's up, man? What's going on?
Well, I mean, a lot of things. It depends what avenue you want to go down, but
Yeah.
specifically
How are
with,
you? How are you? Let's start with you. We'll tease the people. There's definitely a new stock coming. We'll tease everyone out
yes,
there.
there's a new stock coming. Tell you what, let's do this. We'll pull it in, and here we go.
Oh, we're going right. We're just going right in. We're going
We're
right
going right
in.
in. We're just gonna go for it. Here it is.
Yeah,
This is
this looks
our
good.
MBS 22. This is our all new.
Yeah, hold it
1022
right in the
Bullpup
middle
stock.
there. Let's get a look at it. Hold it let's see. Hold it a little bit yeah, just back up a little
Head
bit so
on.
we can see the whole thing. The whole thing.
Here, I'll pull back.
There you go, right there.
Can you see it there?
Yeah, I like it. It looks good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So this is basically this is kind of the culmination of 10 years of working in this industry in the bullpup conversion industry, I guess if you want to call it that, in the gun industry writ large. But yeah, basically there's some features on this that you're not going to find on any other bullpup conversion, and especially not any for the Ruger 1022. So there's a lot of options out there that people have for 1022 bullpups. And so what we decided to do was kind of perfect every single aspect that we possibly could of the, let's say the bullpup conversion, and really try to make not just a really good bullpup conversion, but an extremely good bullpup generally. And that's really what we're after, is trying to make something that, even if it were a ready-made off-the-shelf rifle, would be top tier in terms of bullpups. And so that's really what we're hoping this achieves. And so this is just a prototype right now. We're in the tooling process, so that's usually a couple month long process. But this prototype actually is doing everything that we were hoping it would do. So we have really high hopes for the finished molded parts when we get to that stage. There's a couple features, and I don't know if we want to dive in, just going.
Yeah, we're here. We're here. Let's do it. The first,
if you guys have any questions early on here, but
yeah. So if the guys have questions, we will definitely get to it, and we'll cover it again in the Gorn section of the show. We've got the show broken up into 20-minute segments, and right now we're in the welcome, so we might as well just do this while we're here.
Sure.
So this is a 22. Is there a name for this? You have a name?
Yeah, so this is our MBS 22. So kind of like our MBS 95, which I do have one around here somewhere, but it's like our MBS 95 for the high point carbine. It's our modular bullpup system. So what that means is that we built this, unlike more traditional or more common bullpup conversions where it's a left and right clamshell design, like you would see on our 9022, for instance. This is a more modular system where there's an upper section here in black, and then there's this lower section in white. There's a butt pad, and we'll cover this a little bit more in a sec. There's a knuckle guard. All these parts are removable, and so they're much easier and much more friendly to service in the field with minimal tools. So this will actually come apart just with 3 pins. That's all you need to take this apart. Whereas, say, a more traditional clamshell design like our 9022, there's going to be a number of screws that you would have to unscrew in order to separate the two halves. So this is just a couple of pins, and you're able to disassemble it. Now there is the one thing that you will have to screw, which we couldn't really get away from, is the main takedown screw on your 1022. Right. But one thing we're looking at doing down the road would be making a custom thumb screw that you could pretty quickly and easily just unscrew by hand in order to disassemble that. So we're going for a truly toolless assembly process on this, and it's allowed us, in a weird way, it's actually allowed us to do some cool things that you might not be able to do as easily in a less quick or simple design. The fact that it separates vertically up and down, lower and bottom, you actually, or upper and lower, excuse me, you've got the potential for changing up the trigger mechanism in here a little bit with how we, I guess, create the linkage and tie everything together. And that allows us to do some pretty cool stuff in terms of how we can adjust the trigger on the front end. So there are some advantages to this beyond just the assembly, but there's some neat things that maybe aren't readily available to be observed on the outside here that are going on inside. And so we're really excited to show people how that part of the system works too, beyond just the assembly and some of the more basic ergonomic improvements that you can see from the outside.
Right. So DCG44 says, "Welcome back, Andy." Shout out to DCG44s. He knows why. He just hooked me up with a very nice bullpup. I have not received it yet or anything like that. I will have it here on the show when I get it, when the show comes back. So shout out to him. Let's see here. We got new stuff coming in, which we will get to here in a second. If you guys have questions for Andy on this new bullpup, we'll cover that. 42 Chilled says it looks good. So the name, I'm kind of disappointed it's not called the Hank. Yeah, but
well, I mean, we could probably arrange something.
We could work on a version. We could work on a Hank version. So with that takedown screw, are you guys gonna make your own screw that goes in there? Because it would be cool. Maybe you can have like a QD point or something there. Something useful where that goes.
Exactly. that's
Mm-hmm.
exactly where we're headed. Where this pocket that
Mm-hmm.
the screw sits in, I don't know if you're
Mm-hmm.
able to make that out or not. It's
Yeah,
probably kind of hard because it's a more white material,
we can
so it's
see it
probably
though.
reflecting a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's
basically,
the
that
black
pocket
spot
is
in the middle of
we're
the
gonna
snow, right there. Yeah.
yeah. Ba- Basically, this pocket will be kind of an oblong
Mm-hmm.
shape. So the nice thing about it is we're going to have like essentially a QD. It can't be attached to the screw itself, but it's going to have to be like a QD cup that the screw passes through in order to secure it for 1 point use. We've got it designed. We just have to machine a couple of them to test them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, basically, it would be something that would give you nice 1 point sling access for QD mount. And again, we're looking at doing some type of a thumb screw, knurled thumb screw that, yeah, when you tighten it down, you can do it by hand. You don't need to resort to Allen wrenches or a screwdriver or anything like that. But what
Mm-hmm.
is cool, since we're talking about the disassembly on it here, the butt pad actually is, like I said, it's removable, but it's also a, see if I can do this one-handed. There we go. It's also a storage compartment, and it
Mm-hmm.
will hold, see if I can do this without tipping them out. It'll hold one magazine, and it also holds, if you can see in there, down here, the Allen wrenches you need to disassemble the kit. So if you were to, need to take the action out of the stock, it does hold the 5/32 wrench that you need to disassemble it
Okay.
in the back of the stock here. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
cool.
worst case, if you did need the tool, it's available to you and it stores in the butt. So kind of like
Yeah.
our magazine coupler, for those of you who have seen that before and know what this product is, but it links two 10 round mags together. And it's got, if you can kind of make that out there, it's got the wrench that assembles the
Mm-hmm.
coupler stored inside the coupler body
Very
itself.
cool.
So same general
Same
principle,
principles.
and kind of gives you I guess the convenience of having that close by without worrying about losing it. So
Okay. So Night Train says, do you know what the price point is going to be? And now this is just the stock, right? So
correct.
this is not the complete gun. It's just a stock, and it works. It's from a 1022. That's basically the guts of what goes into it, right?
Yep, exactly. And this will work with what's really cool about this is too, unlike our 9022, where it only worked with the standard, 18 and a half inch Ruger, common carbine model.
Mm-hmm.
This one will work with pretty much any 1022 that's currently available for or from Ruger. And so yeah, basically this will fit the Ruger Charger as long as it has a 10-inch barrel, or I should say a 9-inch barrel. I think
Yeah.
most of them are 10, but in order to get to about here, there's a wall where basically it's kind of sealing off the front of the stock from the elements. So you could run a suppressor. I'll show you the front here. I don't know
Oh
if you can
yeah,
see down in there.
suppressors must be run. Did you give us the price point? I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
yep. So yeah, getting back to that. Thank you.
Right.
Right now we're thinking right around $150 is our
Okay.
target.
Okay.
So we're coming in at about half the price of what our 9022 is.
Okay.
It may go more, it may go less. It depends on what what some of the pricing of materials
Mm-hmm.
and stuff does in the next couple of months here. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it'll work with 1022s. It'll work with chargers, takedowns. That's another thing that our other stock didn't
Oh,
work
is
with
it going to work
is
with?
takedown.
Would it work with a charger length takedown barrel?
Yeah, so if you have the 10-inch barrel takedown charger,
Mm-hmm.
you can absolutely run it in this. Again, you
Oh.
would just need, yeah, which I know I'm pretty excited to drop one of these into you, get the
I
thing
have
going and
a
everything.
right. It's not to interrupt you, but I have an integrally suppressed charger takedown barrel.
That okay, yeah, that's exactly what we're looking at doing with this. This something like
Yeah.
that where if you've got, and it'll take 920 bull barrels too. So even
Uh,
if you have a barrel that's
okay.
shorter than say 10 inches or 9 inches,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be able to run that. If it's a bull barrel or a
Mm-hmm.
920 suppressor, I should say, it'll run like a bull barrel in here, and you could run it pretty much any length you want as long as it is the overall length is at least 9 inches to get
Mm-hmm.
you to right in this area, and that's where the
Mm-hmm.
bushing is that holds the barrel in place and kind of seals off the front end of the stock from the elements. So if you're going to shoot, say a 22 rimfire match, and you have to do, if you're going from a crawl or shooting under a barricade or something, the nice thing about this is, even though it's open on the front, it's got a protective wall in here that's going to keep dirt, debris, and stuff from getting back into the action and the guts of the stock here. So,
Okay.
yeah, we were trying to kind of cover all of our bases, figure out what works, what doesn't work, what we've seen people have issues with in the past, and then try to remedy anything that may have come up. So this is, we really do think this might be, one of the most advanced bullpups especially for the 1022, but it's certainly, out of all the conversions that have ever been tried, this is, we're hoping, one of the best that's ever been done. So it's got a lot of, it's got a lot of things that you don't see on other conversions, and certainly, like I said too, even other bullpups in general. Just the speed of the takedown on this is really pretty phenomenal. Even for something maybe more like a military application, like a DeVore. Again, very quick takedown on that, and this is right up there with it in terms of serviceability and ease of maintenance and stuff.
So a couple of things coming in here. I see Rich, FlyinRich is out there. Shout out to him. We might be able to get him to jump on. He's a big fan of Hightower Armory. He also has the Bullpup kit on his 10mm high point. The stuff that we've done is with Walther right now. So and we're not able to get Walther to come on. So maybe we'll get Rich on. I need to do a couple of more. Since we're in the beginning of the year here, I should probably get a couple of things like projects going with you guys, and you all will see that, including this 1022. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, we covered the price. What's the questions that we've got here? Rich is asking something about whether or not you're going to work with High Point to sell stuff from the factory. We can answer that here later. Let's get into other stuff here. So I'm trying to think. Color options on this. What are the color options going to be?
Yep. So this is just in kind of a white colored prototype. It's just 3D printed right now because we're in tooling. So it'll be a couple of months before we have hard parts out of the mold. But hey, FlyinRich.
Yeah, Rich is coming right in.
So yeah, basically, it'll be available in all the colors that we currently have for other products. So
yeah, I like that. I think Rich has the flat dark earth. That's always a nice one.
Yep. Yep, and OD green. I don't know if I've got one around. Oh, I've got our. Give me just a sec here. I do have our MBS 95.
This is the beauty of being able to do. Oh, there we go. To actually handle. So, oh, that looks good. That's a. You know what? So this is the Arctic. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say this is the Arctic Gray. This is probably one of our more popular colors, actually. And so this will be available as well in the new stock. Pretty much everything you see on the website currently is stuff you're gonna find, for colors on our MBS 22 when that drops. So.
Okay, very cool. And did you tell us when the drop was?
We don't have an official release date yet, just because, and we're always, I guess, hesitant to put a date on it specifically because we don't want to rush something if it's not, 100% how we want it to be and how it should be. We don't want to put a date on it and then get people upset when that date comes and goes. So we are working on it as hard as we can. We'll have it out as soon as we can. It's just, a question of getting it right and making sure the tooling process does everything, correctly, so that when we make those first parts, there's not a whole lot of changes and corrections and stuff that need to be made to the tooling. So.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Man, Rich, do you have any questions specifically about this new kit? Yeah.
Well, actually, not about the new kit, because I'm sorry, I just tuned in a few minutes ago, but I mean this stock is better than the High Point stock that the gun comes with. Has High Point, or have you talked to High Point and say, hey, let's do a mashup, let's get these things together?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked, I know the owner over there, great guy, and we've talked about it a little bit here and there, but I think, at least from our side in the last year with all the craziness that's gone on, just in supply, delivery, getting just getting stuff in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's been hard to keep up even with our own stuff. And so down the road, we're certainly open to it. We're certainly willing to sit down and have that conversation with them and really pursue it. But I know they're kind of in the same boat too. In this last 2 years, it's been so challenging to get anything that trying to offer new products right now is extremely difficult. And so it took a long time for us to even develop it on our new stock here to get it to a point where we want to tell people that it's coming, just because again it's been such a challenge.
Right.
I mean, but that's right, yeah, and here's my thing, and no offense to anyone, but that's like your neighbor has a new baby, and you go, your baby's kind of ugly. In the future, next time, I'll get in there and help you make that baby.
Exactly. And I think, go ahead.
My Ruger Mini 14, I have an ATI folding telescoping stock on it, and that's just fantastic. And I bought that as is from Ruger.
No, you're right. Listen, you're right. The high tower looks a lot better.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying that's probably not going to be anyone's first. Right. Mm-hmm.
Forget the looks.
Okay.
It's easier to do everything with the high tower stock on this 10 millimeter high point.
Yeah.
Than it is with the high point stock.
Agreed.
Every last thing is easier.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that, Andy, but we just put up a video. I think it's called High Point Carbine Bros with myself, Walter, and Patrick, and we had the stock in there. So I totally agree with what FlyinRich is saying.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's the one. We have 1 minute till we go to the next segment. Go ahead.
Isn't that when somebody got their tax stamp?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, go ahead, Andy. You got a couple seconds here.
Yeah. So no, I mean, there's some things that we've learned. Like I said, we've been doing this for about 10 years now, and the high point stock was sort of a culmination of what we had learned up to that point. And what worked, what didn't work, and what we could improve on. Both on our designs and other guns' designs. And so, yeah, there are definitely some advantages and some, let's say, improvements to maybe some of the functions, ergos, that kind of thing of the high point. And now we're applying that to other designs too. So the 1022 is next, but what's really cool about that is, and I'll just hint at it now, the kind of our
we're
goal here.
Yeah, we're gonna cut to a break. We're gonna cut to a break right here. We'll be right back. Hold on, guys. Walther Arms has been making concealed carry handguns for over 90 years, starting with the PPK. Today, Walther is based in the good old US of A and still builds quality firearms like the PPQ and PDP for personal defense and competition. So when you're in the market, please consider Walther Arms. We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Walther Arms. All right, thank you very much to the folks from Walther Arms. Yeah, by the way, let me see. Can I do this? My phone's not connected to this thing. I wanted to show you that video. Finish your thoughts, Andy. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. So I'll tease it a little bit here, but this is a Ruger PC carbine, 9mm, takes block mags, and it is remarkably close in design, features, functions to the Ruger 1022. So, kind of hinting at where we're going with this. It's not quite ready to reveal that yet, but imagine sort of our MBS 95 and the new product, the MBS 22. Those two kind of mixed together, an amalgamation of those two on something like this. So that's just a little bit of a hint on where we're going, I guess.
Right, absolutely. And we're in the news section here. We will get into the news. We will do the news. Let me see if I can play that video a little bit. Listen, I do fully agree with what Rich says, man. You guys make some stuff look cooler. So I appreciate that,
No, but it looks and it works better.
Yeah,
it's better than the factory stock.
But looking cool is also good. But yes.
And I bought the 10mm because when I saw the high point layout, I'm like, oh, I can design and 3D print a stock for that myself. And then you guys, I'm like, they're killing it. I'm like, just take my money.
Well, thank you. No, that really means a lot. That really does,
Yeah.
and I know we should
By the way,
appreciate it.
here's Walter shooting your stock with a big old suppressor on there from Liberty Suppressors. A boom right there. You guys can check this out. It's called High Point Carbine Bros. It's on YouTube, on Hank Strange, YouTube/Hank Strange. You can go there and you can check that out. And we definitely gave you guys a shout out there. So
No, I should appreciate it. Thank you so
yeah,
much.
yeah, absolutely. I mean yes, the functional part is a big part of it. I know, I agree. Rich is just trying to be practical. Damn
Look,
you, Rich.
I wanted something 10 mil, and I'm a bullpup nut job also. And when I saw the design, I'm like, oh, that's made for bullpup. That high point design will go in a bullpup chassis. I just got to design it. And I started looking around, and boom, I saw you guys were. I think you just started, like, announced production or something. Like, that's it. I'm buying one.
Sure. No, well, thank you. Yeah, no, it's a kind of. I'm glad you pointed that out too, because I think a lot of people do look at what we do as making things look cool, and there's a component to that. Absolutely. I mean, bullpups
Sure.
look cool, and I think that's part of the big draw to them is that you see it, and whether you know it or not, I think your brain can kind of understand how something's going to feel, whether even if you haven't held it before. I think you have an instinctive, natural understanding of, okay, this is going to feel ergonomic. It's going to balance well. It's going to fit my frame better than, say, maybe a traditional rifle would. And there's something cool about that. I think that's where the cool, nature of bullpups, or what people think of when they think of bullpups.
Just imagine the shortened. Obviously, it's going to be an SBR, integrally suppressed one that you could take down. That's going to be some really cool badassery.
Yeah, exactly. And I think just looking at it, I mean, you can see, your brain kind of knows. It's like it understands where the weight is in this. It knows where the, let's say where the grip points would be, where you're going to grab it. And so, yeah, there's a cool factor to the bullpups that I think it's kind of a quality that you really can't, if you can't deny, or you can't, let's say, separate from bullpups. Like, they just look cool because they're kind of different, and I think that's a big component of it too. But to Flying's point, it's definitely more than just does it look cool. There's a functional nature to it. Whether it's the balance, the overall length, the ergonomics of it. For instance, like in the MBS 95, we try to really focus on the ergonomics and improve a lot of what we didn't like about the standard stock. And so there are some other things to it that go beyond just making it shorter. And the same is true with our new MBS 22. It's going to have some features in it that are cool, that are much better than even just the factory stock on its own. And so that's really what we're trying to do. And I don't know if we covered the trigger, but that would be one of the other things.
Okay.
So, yeah, one of the drawbacks to bullpups, of course, is that the triggers typically aren't great. And there's not much mystery as to why that is. It's because you're trying to transfer energy from, let's say, the front trigger here. So if you're pulling this trigger up here, you're trying to transfer that energy to your firing control group back here. And so there's some challenges to that. You get things like flex, there's friction. You generally need more springs to return the trigger rod back forward. After you pull it, of course, there's some inertia. It wants to stay put. And if there's friction and inertia and enough of that stacks up, if your trigger is light enough already, it's not going to be able to overcome that. So you generally need some type of a spring to return it. All that stuff adds up. And even if let's say your trigger pack is set at 5 pounds, if you have those extra forces involved, you're adding, 3, 4, 5 pounds to the trigger. So what we've done on our MBS 22 that we have kind of done a little bit on some of our other products, but specifically this is the first time that we've really kind of made this our central focus. We have a cam system in the design that actually reduces the trigger pull weight on, say, the factory Ruger trigger. It goes from about, usually when we're measuring it, they're between 5 and 6 pounds for the newer plastic, housing triggers. Some of the older ones we've seen at 4.5 to 5. would be fairly common, but we reduce that by about, I would say, 1.5 to 2 pounds pretty typically. For the older trigger packs, the ones that are lighter, it's kind of a diminishing return. If you have, say, like a BX trigger at 3 pounds, the way that it's geared, we're taking about, in theory, about half of the weight off of whatever that trigger weight is. So if you're at, if you have the 3-pound BX trigger, we're going to take half of that off, and how it's geared or how the cam system is, related to the original trigger. But the problem is, because it's, as your trigger reduces in weight, so do the benefits, or so do the gains, because you're only taking half of that every time. And then there's a pound return spring that returns it back. So it gets to a point where it's not beneficial to have a lighter trigger in this type of a system. But if you have just a stock standard trigger that's 6 pounds, you're going to drop that down to about 4 pounds, or maybe even a little less, depending on how we can get the final parts. But in the prototype here, they're coming in like a 6-pound factory trigger is coming in at 4 pounds.
Oh, cool.
And it's adjustable for take up and over travel. So we keep it fairly crisp for people out there who are worried about that too. They're, like I was telling you before, Hank, in physics there's no free lunch. So if you're going to reduce the weight, you're also going to have to increase the distance that you pull it. And so what we've done there is, that's the over travel and the take up. They're adjustable, so when it breaks, it doesn't, like in the standard trigger, it's going to keep traveling. On this, we have a hard stop. So when it does break, it stops, and you're not having to cover that distance. So,
by the way,
really,
I'm showing the post you put up on Hightower Armory on Instagram. So everyone who has Instagram right now, go like that post right now. Make a comment.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, I just went in there and made a comment. We're going to get more into this here in a second. I'll leave it up there for everyone to see. If you're on Instagram, it's Hightower Armory, all one word. Go follow those guys and make a comment. We have Andy on live. We'll get into it. I do want to cover some news stuff. I know there's a bunch of things in the news the guys wanted to talk about. Let me see here. Night Train says Castro's illegitimate son, Justin Trudeau, announced what is effectively martial law in Canada. This is over the Freedom Convoy. Rich, you want to fill us in on this? I'm sure you've been following this were you and Crump following this?
Yeah, actually, we didn't talk about this,
no?
But
okay.
Yeah, it's really bad that these truckers are burning down cities, looting and rioting, and burning down. Oh wait, no, they're not. Bouncy castles.
Bouncy castles, and like what's that music called when they go doom 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 doom?
Oh, rave music.
That's all they're doing out there. They're just bopping. I guess that could be scary, right?
And you know what? This is, I've heard various interviews with the people running this. This is exactly patterned after what MLK did. Peaceful non-compliance. And bravo. Exactly what you should be doing. And like, we make jokes about the French, but when the French don't like something, they shut the freaking country down.
Yeah, that's their.
More power to them.
Yeah, no, we've never even with everything that's happened, I've never said that people don't have the right to protest something. You have the right to protest them, of course. If something's going wrong, the government here is for the people.
Oh yeah. I'm
so
big
if the
believer
people
in
aren't
peaceful
happy,
non-compliance.
Yeah, even if we don't agree with them, they can get out there and voice their opinions. It's when you start to destroy things and tear stuff up. But these truckers are making a very good point. And what they're deciding over there is like, well, screw you guys, we don't care. We're gonna tear this down. Night Train says the Ottawa police chief announced his resignation. Do you
Amen, brother. Good for that guy.
Yeah, Trudeau needs to go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Trudeau. But again, they're all members of this, one world BS stuff. And this is what they're driving towards. They're driving towards everybody bowing and conforming. And look, if you want to get vaccinated, good for you. That's your business.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, I don't think you should be forced to put a Hightower Arms, stock on your high point. I think it's a great idea.
Well, Hold on.
But
Let's
you
not
do
say
you.
something.
Andy's all for that now. All of a sudden, what do you think about this, Andy? Have you been following any of this at all, or?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty deep into the political side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's what's tough about it is when it comes to the trucker protest, and I find myself knee jerk, wanting to say like, yes, absolutely, I want to go park my truck out in the middle of the road.
Mm-hmm.
There's a part of me too, though, and I try to be as balanced and fair as I possibly can on my analysis of things. And I'll be honest, I was saying things. So back when, let's say, the BLM movement was blocking freeways, and I'm from Minnesota, so this was like in, what was it, May of 2020,
Mm-hmm.
was the ground zero of the Black Lives Matter movement. This is where we had
Mm-hmm.
Derek Chauvin. We've had
Mm-hmm.
a few others too, and some. Well, even just recently, and maybe you guys have seen the video on that. But recently, a no-knock warrant got issued in Minneapolis,
Mm-hmm.
and for all intents and purposes, a gun owner who
Mm-hmm.
wasn't really doing anything wrong got
Right.
shot and killed over it. And
Mm-hmm.
so, but back to my initial point, back
Yeah,
when
a
that was
young. I
happening.
think that was a young black man, right? About 20
Oh
something, or
no.
Correct. Yeah.
yeah.
So there
Mm-hmm.
there was another round of protests. I think because it's really cold here, and
Mm-hmm.
it happened to be really cold when this happened, and not in May.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, there wasn't nearly as much of an issue in terms of the domestic disturbance and stuff. But yeah, basically, at the time when all that was happening in May, I was saying things like, I don't think they should be blocking roads. I don't, people are just trying to get to work. And so I'm trying not to be hypocritical on my analysis of that, where it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know that I necessarily agree with them blocking roads and preventing people from going about and doing stuff. It is technically illegal. But I will say this too, though. I tend to agree that the message that they're trying to convey resonates with me more than, say, the BLM movement did, where
Mm-hmm.
we can talk about the statistical, let's say, damage or risk that
Mm-hmm.
let's say the government or out of control police officers really pose compared to the reaction versus, say, a mandate where every single person is required to put something in their bodies they don't want. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think those are, it's apples and oranges. It's not
Well,
comparable
I
in
think
my estimation.
yeah, listen, I think that protests by their nature are not going to be convenient to people, whether you agree with them or you disagree with the direction
Right.
of the protest, right? So a person may not agree with why someone's protesting. They still have the right to protest. And effectively, when you get out there and shut down things and all that, of course you make things inconvenient. But obviously someone did something that made things more inconvenient or painful for you. So regardless of how you look at this, when the folks on the Black Lives Matter side were protesting, they have the right to do that. It's when you decide to destroy cities, attack people, that's
Right.
where it becomes a problem, right?
Oh,
So
absolutely, yeah. And
yeah, and it's the
again,
same. I
that's
think
why
it's
to
the same
me,
situation here. It's not convenient for you to get out and block streets and do things like that. But if that's what you have to do to get your voice heard, it's when you decide to destroy things. But the government here in America let the cities be burned down, people be attacked, their businesses destroyed, people killed, and all of that kind of
Yep.
stuff. Cities taken over. I'm still meeting people from the West Coast, specifically Washington, even that they're trying to get the hell out of there. I'm still meeting people all the
oh
time
yeah,
that are like, yeah, man, I worked my whole life. Now I'm retiring and I'm trying to get out of this place that I worked my whole life for. So,
yeah,
I'm sorry, go
no,
ahead.
exactly, and I completely agree. Like I
Hmm.
fundamentally, when you look at our history too, it's protests are generally not peaceful events or generally not, let's say, orderly events. They can be, like, for
Hmm.
instance, I think like MLK's March on Washington kind of thing. I don't think that's a form of protest, completely protected. They're not
Hmm.
violating any laws in doing it. And with the truckers on some level too, I'm kind of looking at it going, I don't know that they're violating any laws even by parking where they're parking necessarily. I don't know what Canada's laws say about that,
Hmm.
and I have no problem with them protesting whatsoever. But
Hmm.
again, now it's the question of, because it's something that I like, I want them to block traffic versus something I don't like, I don't want them blocking traffic.
Hmm.
It's hard. And again, I fully understand a protest. Sometimes civil disobedience requires that people break the law, that people go to jail, like it happened in the 1960s too for the civil rights movement. I fundamentally and totally understand that, and like you were saying too, this is a big enough thing where people are obviously, like, probably people who would otherwise just be working at their job, driving truck, doing whatever they were doing. would have no problem with the government if it stayed out of their business.
Yeah.
These are people who were put in a situation that we probably wouldn't have imagined 5 years ago, having to stand up and do something. And again, I fundamentally agree with everything that they're standing for. I just don't know. I'm torn. I guess I can see both sides of the argument on how they're doing it in some situations. Obviously, the people who are just out and about on the sidewalk, on the street, protesting, speaking their minds, absolutely, I fully support that. But if you're parking a truck in the middle of a freeway and turning it off or something, I don't know. I don't know how to parse that out, compared to when, let's say it was a movement that I didn't support was doing it. I might have a hard time accepting that too.
Right,
so
right.
That's the thing. I'm trying to be as even keeled and open minded and viewing both sides as I possibly can. So.
Yeah, go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, I mean, you do have a point there because I think first off, I don't think any of us really disagreed with Black Lives Matter. We disagreed with how they're conveying their message by burning cities down. Of course, Black Lives Matter. But
yeah, I mean, for sure. Like life matters. Human life matters.
Right.
Life in general matters. It's really important.
When you
things
look at
things happening to specific groups of people is not cool, right? Right now, we've got Asian people in this country being attacked and killed. You've got all kinds of different things going on. I think there's people attacking Jewish. There's a lot of stuff going on, right? And that's this is why we all believe in guns and defense. I'm sorry about jumping in there, Rich. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, with the media, they can stand in front of a BLM protest with buildings on fire behind them and say it's mostly peaceful, and it's like, and they'll be all over pro the protests, whereas the big main media companies are giving these Canadians, they're saying they're terrorists, they're funded by Russia, China.
Everyone's funded by Russia. This guy's funded by Russia. That guy's funded by Russia. Yeah.
When are we going to get tired of that?
Well, to us on this side, the way that we look at things, because of the nature of who we are, we're not the same, but because of the nature of who we are, and that we believe in self-reliance and responsibility, we've been tired. We've been tired, right?
Oh yeah.
Another tax stamp.
Well, and I think, taking a play from MLK or let's say the civil rights movement's playbook. Unfortunately, I think what this situation kind of calls for, where we're in, let's say the broader situation of kind of being almost the counterculture now of, say being on the right or more conservative or whatever you want to call it, libertarian. That's kind of the counterculture. And unfortunately, I think it's going to be, on us to be better than what our opposition is. So I totally understand what Rich is saying, where it's like, it is frustrating when you turn on the news and we're demonized on the right or, more on this side of the aisle for things that are far more peaceful, far more under control. But that's what it's going to take, because I think people are going to start to wake up. When the media starts, losing their minds over something that's clearly not that big of an issue, and they downplay things that really are, even the people in the middle are starting to wake up to it.
We're cutting to a break.
We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Barnauls Ammo. Barnauls has a wide range of reliable, quality steel case ammo for small game, large game, target shooting, and self-defense. They've got the classics like 7.62 and 5.45, as well as 9mm all the way up to 308. Subsonic as well. So when you're in the market, please consider Barnauls Ammo.
All right, we are back here. Shout out to the folks at Barnauls and High Point. They are pretty much under the same umbrella, and we appreciate them supporting us over here. We wouldn't be able to do this without them. I'm just telling you guys, the ridiculous amount of bills that have to get paid here, we would not be able to handle that. I would be out there doing something else. I have no idea. I'll be in Chippendales. I'll be in Chippendales in Vegas, swinging them right now. Okay, so we are. Listen, if you guys want to, I'm going to give the guys in the audience a chance right now. If you want to continue with news, we're in the Gordon section. We could push things, move things around. I don't know if you all have some other news. But I did see that Remington came to like a $73 million settlement today. with was it what was that settlement related to? Which one of the
Connecticut. Why can't I remember?
the Connecticut situation? Hold on, let me see. I'll pull it up here so that we can be a little bit
I'm like blocking on it.
more. Yeah,
All I can think of is Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, and I know that's wrong.
yeah.
The Sandy
Hook. Sandy Hook. So
Sandy
the Sandy
Hook?
Hook family sued Remington. Remington, this is crazy that Remington has to do this. I do not agree with Remington doing this. This is going to open up every firearms company to be attacked by folks out there every time something happens. If someone takes a Ford and drives through a crowd, I think that's a horrible thing, right?
Oh yeah.
Then is
Ford,
are people going to be able to sue
Ford
Ford
is
because of
negligent.
that?
Ford is negligent because they don't have a body sensor that knows that this person is running down a crowd of people.
They're saying that Remington incited people to do this because of their advertising. That's crazy. Show me the advertising where Remington said, "Go shoot up a school." I challenge someone to find that because it doesn't exist.
And that's the dangerous thing. Like that's where I think because there's so much gray area. That's the avenue, and whoever their lawyers were, the Sandy Hook family's lawyers were, they were smart to go that avenue because that makes perfect sense if your objective is to get as much money as possible. Because obviously, from a purely technical standpoint, there's almost no liability that can be proven. So what they did was, if I understand the lawsuit correctly, they focused on say some marketing images, and I believe I've seen them, and there was some subtle, not even I don't even want to say references, but essentially to let's say power or something to that effect of kind of trying to inspire people to feel powerful with one of their rifles, something along those lines.
Which there's not. I don't think I think this is firearms are a tool that give you a sense of security. I don't
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know that. I'm not going to argue that there may be a few people who are like, "Oh, I got a gun, I'm a badass." I know I definitely don't feel that way, but it does give people. It's an equalizer, right? In lots of cases, whether you're going up against your government or just bad guys in general, But the idea that a firearms company is responsible for what happened in any one of these shootings and that was wishing it on and therefore they could be sued. We could just I didn't look at the Super Bowl. I don't care. But I know for a fact there's a ton of commercials out there that are related to the Super Bowl that even though I didn't see it, I have to see it if I'm looking at a YouTube video. We could pull out any one of those commercials for cars or anything else and say that this did this thing, and the fact that Remington or any company in the firearms industry is going to bend down to that and capitulate is destructive, not just to them. I mean, to me, that's a signal they're about to go
the whole
out of
industry.
business. Yeah, to the whole industry and the rest of us. And personally, I would not want to support Remington after this. That's my opinion.
Well, didn't Remington break up?
Technically,
yes. They're owned by they were owned by the Freedom Group for a while, and then they declared bankruptcy. Maybe 2 years ago, something like that, 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if they got sold, bought, reconstituted as something else. But I'm with you 100%, Hank. It's a dangerous precedent where if it were me, if I was Remington CEO or the owner or whatever, that would be something where you would want to fight tooth and nail. Yeah, like you said, not just for yourself, but for everybody in the industry, to make sure that didn't happen. And you're setting a dangerous precedent now where it opens the door for other companies to face similar, litigation and liability. So, if this happens to someone else, I hope, whether it's SIG or HK or, God forbid anybody else has to go through this, that they're willing to, toe the line. But it may come down to resources too. I mean, the ugly truth of the American legal system is that if you've got the money, you can probably ram through something. And that's the whole point. If the Sandy Hook families, I'm not saying their pockets are deeper than Remington's, but Remington did just declare bankruptcy, however many days ago or years ago, they might not have the money and they maybe looked at it purely as a business decision, said 73 million is awful cheap compared to years and years of, legal battles and
it's unfortunate.
Yeah, go
It's
ahead, Rich.
unfortunate because it costs to be right. You could be slapped with a BS lawsuit, and I mean, we know somebody that has a BS lawsuit on them, and I think they're 100% right. Another YouTuber, and it's basically making them broke. And the process is the punishment, unfortunately. And it's like, I think we all can say, let me change tracks on this. Hammers kill more people than AR-15s every year, like multiple times. Is anybody going after Stanley for all the hammer deaths?
Yeah, I don't want it. I don't want it, but this is the direction that they're going, right? It sucks it really does suck. Like, I get it. If you lose someone that you love and you can't bring them back,
absolutely,
it sucks. Whether it was right, whether it was wrong, whether they did something that brought this on them. If you're the family member, if you're the person who that was your son, your father, your brother, your mother, your daughter, your sister, it hurts. I get it. But we're all going through that, right? We're all going through that. So, like, recently I saw this footage that's floating out there of a guy in New York City getting hit by a car. He falls down, and then a SUV drives over him, right? That sucks.
It didn't. It looked like, I hate to say it, I saw that Mr. Gunsgear posted that. It looked like the guy faked a fall in front of a white truck.
Right, and then maybe...
Because it looked like he was past it, and then this black Suburban, it looks like, just runs him over. And
now... Yeah, and that it sucks. That's what I'm trying to say to you. It sucks. Who knows what the truth is there? We don't know any of these things until there's a lot of stuff we have to break down. So can we sue the car company now? Can we say that's their fault because that person wasn't paying attention? That they incited people to drive the vehicle without paying attention? That the company making the hammer is inciting people to use those hammers to kill people? There was a guy that just stabbed, like, how many people? 17 people or something like that? Where does it end? And really where it ends is that either everything's going to be ridiculously expensive in America, or we'll have access to nothing. And Remington, as a firearms company, doing this is extremely upsetting to me, and I don't agree with it, and I won't support. I don't care if Remington got sold off. Whoever made that agreement there, I am not supporting. Okay?
For sure.
I am not supporting them. I am not buying stuff from Remington themselves. And I don't know exactly what the details are. I saw that, what is this? Who is it that said, American Bulldog says Remington was split up over the bankruptcy. Who owns Bushmaster now? Bushmaster is an independent company, technically. I think it's related to Franklin Armory, but it's technically an independent company. But I don't believe that they're responsible for making a settlement like this. I could be wrong. I don't know everything. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how that goes. Yeah.
No, I think you're absolutely right. There's no, and I think only in this time, in this day and age, would something like that even, would the thought that it would even be possible to work occur to any lawyers in this country. And I think that's more of a sign of the current environment of guns, in general, across the board, not just, let's say what Remington thought would be a good business decision. They maybe looked at it and said, you know what, this is in Connecticut, we're going to get smoked anyway. Let's just settle because there's no way we're going to win with, if it's by jury or maybe even, if it's done with a judge's ruling. They maybe look at it and they go, in this climate, in this location.
Yeah, I'm not a lawyer. I did want to be one amongst the many things I wanted to be when I was younger. I'm going to assume that when all of the bankruptcy and everything happened, this is just my assumption, and someone out there, you guys could tell me what you think about it, but we're not lawyers, and I'm not a journalist either, right? So I'm not the news media, but I'm going to say that probably when Remington filed bankruptcy, they broke off a part of Remington that's a trust or something like that that's dealing with these lawsuits, and then the rest of Remington was sold off. So for all we know, whoever owns the technical name to Remington may not be the ones who made the settlement. Okay?
Correct.
But all of that stuff has to come out. All of that needs to come out. It needs to be clarified, because to me, this is extremely distressing news to hear for the firearms industry, because it opens the industry up to attack from every side, and there should be laws in America to protect industry from these kinds of lawsuits, where it's for sure if a firearms manufacturer or any manufacturer for that part knowingly creates a part that would hurt people, there should be penalties and punishment for that, and they should be open to lawsuits and things like that. But there's no way you could say to me that Remington wanted this to happen.
Right. Yeah, there's no
Right.
evidence whatsoever in the marketing or, again, technically speaking, that they intended for it to be used to murder school children. There's absolutely no evidence of that whatsoever. And yeah, the same, like you were saying too, even if you had a highly provocative ad. Well, I kind of remember when you were talking about that, I remember there was an ad for Dodge back in the day. It was actually a fabulous ad. It was the Dodge Challenger or Charger, one of the two, I believe, where it was kind of like a field with British soldiers in the Revolutionary garb, and they were hearing the sound in the distance, and then George Washington comes driving in a Dodge Charger or Challenger, one of the two, and starts rounding them up in the field. If you haven't seen it, it's a fabulous ad.
I mean, it's advertising, though. It's advertising. I saw an ad for the Nissan Z that's out there, right? That has Dave Bautista and all these different actors and actresses in it. So if someone's kid buys a Nissan Z and tries to jump that car off the roof of a garage or something like that, can we go after Nissan for that? Can we?
Right. Yeah.
Can we do that?
And usually, what's funny is it's sad but true. But if you ever look at those ads where they're even like on a mundane, they're driving on a, let's say, like a hilly road with trees or something in the background, and they're showing go around corners and stuff. If you look at the bottom of those ads, it's like
professional driver, closed quarters.
Exactly. And so what's really sad is that what it may come down to is maybe, and you'll probably start seeing it. You'll start seeing some type of thing like that on on advertisements for firearms where it's professional shooter.
We don't even see advertising for firearms. I mean, think about it. We don't really see it.
Oh yeah,
to some extent, like obviously, firearms companies can sponsor radio shows. From what I see, there's magazines and stuff like that are firearms related that you see them on. Obviously, we have people who sponsor us, and we disclose all of that here constantly to you guys. But they can't get Super Bowl ads. We already know that. They can't get TV ads in general, right? They can't get ads on YouTube.
Yep.
So.
No, Yeah, they've got us pretty well cornered in. They don't want and that gets back to what I was saying before. I mean, the whole industry is basically under attack constantly, and that's the state. That's the state of where we're at. 50 years ago, this wouldn't have been a problem. 100 years ago, certainly not. And so now it's
40.
It's almost,
go ahead. Go ahead.
My favorite thing is used to be able to open the Sears catalog, order a Tommy gun, fully automatic, and have it sent to your house.
Right.
And there were no school shootings
no
back
school
then.
shootings.
Yeah. It's human beings are responsible for that. Human beings are worse, and lots of people in the government, lawmakers, politicians in general. There's lots of people we can blame, but it's people, human beings, and it's not the human beings that are manufacturing things in America and around the world. American Bulldog says, it appears nobody is accountable for their own actions anymore. Help me, daddy government. 42 Chilled says, Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, or the PLCAA, the law passed in 2005, gave the gun industry what legal scholars refer to as immunity. And then 42 Chilled says, it provided blanket protection from lawsuits alleging harm caused by the very weapons the industry produces. You could still sue manufacturers, distributors, and dealers, but a judge would almost always dismiss the case before it reached trial. And the Sandy Hook didn't. The thing here is the trust, as we've already said here, and we don't know everything that's going on. We don't know a lot, or even a small part of what's going on, but the trust or whoever it is and the lawyers for that here have basically decided there's money in there, and they're like, this is the money in there. We could give you $73 million, and they're settling for it, and maybe the media is telling us that it's Remington, and you may well see whoever owns the rights to Remington now, if they ever plan to use that name, come out and say, hey, we did not make that deal. But if I was their marketing people, I would already be saying that or making that distinction. You know, it just sucks because when you hear this, you think, damn, this should never be done. You know, and it's also a big distraction from what's happening, that the Clintons and the Obamas and all that kind of stuff actually spied on Trump, right? All of this is a big distraction from that. Yeah, go ahead, Rich. What's up?
So my question, and again, there's all sorts of crazy things. There was a Glock used in this. Did anybody sue Glock? Did Glock settle? What happened here?
I have no idea. We do have. By the way, we got another high tower guy joining us, Walter Keller.
Oh, hey!
He's come out of he's made it out of the Stargate. Oh, look at that!
Got yours, Walter?
Now high towers are gonna get throw all the high towers up. Okay, just pretend this is a high tower right here. It's not.
Wait a minute. I think.
Oh boy, guns again.
Too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, isn't that? Yeah, what is that? Is that one of you guys? I think so. I think it is.
That's the 9022. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. That's the old school. So Walter, there's a new 22 out now. That's what Andy's got there.
Show me again.
Yeah, go ahead. Show Walter again. He's got to see it.
Here we go.
Yep. A new 22 is coming out, Walter.
Sweet.
That's based on the Ruger 1022.
Yes, sir.
Oh, cool. That has a kind of a XM77 kind of look about it.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
XM8. I'm sorry.
XM8. Yeah. I knew what you were talking about. The ATK/HK team up.
Yeah. The plastic gun. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
the one that they say melted when it got too hot.
Yeah. So Walter has all the high tower. He has the old school, the high towers, which are still out there. They still look good. Look, he's all matching. Yeah. You coordinated, Walter. You coordinated.
What, the colors?
Yeah. Well, no, you painted that one though. I think, didn't you?
Yeah, this one we painted with the Barnauls paint, and then this one was El Natural. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yes. So, yes, lots of awesomeness. We're going to get into that. We were just talking about stuff in the news. We're about to, in the next minute and a half, we're going to get all up into guns and stuff like that here. But that was a big news thing that happened. Let's see. DCG44 says new Remington should sue old Remington for damaging their reputation. Who wants to take that one? We got a minute. Whoever's doing it, go for it. Nobody wants to go.
Somebody else got the text in.
No, that's the change subject fairy.
Do you have any opinions of that whole Remington thing, Walt? You know about this?
It's unfortunate that they chose to go that route. Once again, I kind of, I'm kind of like, it's kind of like this thing is never going to get up and do anything bad ever. It takes this,
Yeah.
And I'll be, my way in some scumbag, to do this stuff. There's no money in the scumbag, right?
Not in suing them.
That's just it. It comes down to dollars and cents.
Yeah.
And lawyers, and they get right. They're in that those ones hunting for the money like that. They fall into that scumbag route too, because they just go for the biggest. They go for the biggest pot of money.
Yeah. We're coming right back after this break. We're taking a quick break here.
With Arms List, you can shop the extensive list of local and nationwide firearms classified, now with more confidence because of their built-in firewall. For only $6.99 a month for personal use, or $30 a month for business vendors, so when you're in the market, please consider Arms List. We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Arms List.
All right, so let's see. We're back here. We've got Walter. We've got FlyinRich. We've got Andy of Hightower. We've got myself. I think we've covered the news and some other things out there. Let's get all up in. Let's talk about some guns.
All right, where are we starting?
Walter's dropping mags over there.
I gotta get another 10-rounder quick.
Yeah, do you guys make the 10mm magazines at Hightower at all?
No, not yet. We've got we've heard some unsubstantiated reports allegedly, and this was quite a while ago, that Red Ball Sports was allegedly making some 20, I assume 20 round 10 millimeter magazines. They have the 9 and the 45 currently. But yeah, the 10 rounders seem to work well, and that's what I typically run in mine. And I've seen a few people actually, believe it or not, who have I believe they altered the 45 caliber mags from Red Ball to fit 20 rounds of 10 millimeter. But yeah, I haven't tried it myself. So.
Oh, look, Walter's going. What are you doing, Walter?
That's a 100-round drum.
Right. Okay. Right.
That drum is going to cause someone to do evil things. Remember that. It's going to cause
Listen,
someone.
you know how many guns I have at my place, and we all have, and none of them have assaulted me yet. No,
I grew up in a house full of guns, and they were all over the place. None of them were locked up, and I didn't go around shooting people.
Well, they don't wake up. Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night and your guns are like hanging over your bed with a knife ready to stab you, or
hear them trying to sneak out? They're trying to sneak out at night.
Yeah, they sneak off, take your car.
Yeah.
I hear them, when they're drunk after they're out drinking, coming in, knocking over stuff.
Right. By the way, I see John Crump in the chat. Crumpy is in the chat. He says the champ is here. Shout out to Crump. I don't know what he's up to. He's really bringing. Oh, I see. He's got a sticker. Hold on. Oh,
yeah, that's his patch. That's the Crumpy patch.
Oh, when did that come out?
I don't know which patch is cooler.
Definitely that patch is cooler right there. That patch is definitely cooler.
Although I think this one's my favorite.
Oh, Big Chocolate. Big Chocolate.
Hey, Hank.
Yeah. What's
Hank,
up?
the other night, I was commenting. I was trolling Crumpy's show, and that gentleman was on there, and my mind just went completely blank. Tony was on there.
Yeah, Tony Simon.
And they were talking about ATF and their Valentine's post, and I mentioned I said I posted in there, don't forget about the glory holes, and Tony had not heard about it ever.
No.
And John told him about it, and he started laughing so hard
I could just imagine. Yeah, I could imagine.
He started wheezing and laughing and
give him a heart attack. You don't want to be responsible for taking out Big Chocolate.
I said I wasn't trying to kill him. I wasn't trying to kill him.
Cruise Man says, I woke up to my gun shining a flashlight in my eyes. Oh, Lord. Okay.
I never, and you know what? And the best part, I used to watch all those violent cartoons too. All those,
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Funny.
Let me tell you guys a story. So I went to. This is going to seem completely off the subject, but it is about Tony. So recently, last weekend, Lola and I went to the Hamcation in Orlando, and we got our amateur radio licenses. We got the technician's license, Lola and myself. We got call signs, we got radios, all of that. So while I was out there was what's the name? I think her name was Rhea. I can't remember her call sign, but she's part of the ARRL, which is something American Radio, something or other. Anyway, she's from Jersey. She's a YouTuber that talks about ham radios, etc. She knows Tony Simon. She's like, oh, do you know Tony Simon? I was like, are you talking about Big Chocolate? She started laughing, and then the next day she told me that she spoke to him. I guess he was doing something, and she was like, oh, Hank Strange said you're Big Chocolate. So there you go.
Can I make a comment about Utreon?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm trying to post Wolverine's Mofo. And it won't take it. It won't do it.
You gotta spell it. You gotta misspell it. You gotta do MAU.
For anything goes platform, it don't like bad language.
You gotta add an AU to that. I'm trying to get them to relax that.
It's like Mofo's not bad. Come on, man. Come on.
I was trying to comment on a couple of your streams, and it wasn't. I don't know if I commented too frequently. It was completely G-rated, and it was not letting me
they have a
dimension.
high number of blocked of things. You can't
Oh,
say
okay.
there's certain things you can't say.
No bad words. Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Even the insinuation of bad words.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Even some misspelled things are in
Bad
there. So
word.
yeah. So
Well, they are Canadian.
well,
Let me try this.
they're
Let me try
working on
this.
it. They told me they're working on it. Okay,
Let me
so
break it
listen,
up.
let's get into the new hype. What do you guys calling this again? I'm pretty sure I heard you say you're calling it the Hank, right? It's the Hank.
Yeah, the Hank, actually, the Hank 22.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. For the folks joining us now, give us some details of this. Here, I'll go full screen to you if I can. Boom. There I go. There you go.
There we go. All right. So, toolless takedown. That's probably one of the biggest, coolest features of this. There's no screws on it other than the factory takedown screw, which we covered a little bit ago earlier in the show here. But yeah, it's just a couple of pins. Pop these two pins, and the whole thing opens up like an AR-15 basically, where you can you can actually take the receiver out pretty quickly at that point. And if you guys want to see, I can bust it all down. And
Absolutely, go ahead, man. We're on
Yeah.
Utreon. We're not free to type certain things in there, but we are free to take stuff down. I guess.
I had to syllabalize mofo.
Yeah, okay. You got it in, Walt. You got it to.
Yes, I did. Yes.
Oh
I did.
yeah, I
Yes,
see
I
it.
did.
All right. You got to
All right,
work.
so-
What is that? What is that saying from Jurassic Park? Life will find a way. Life will find a way around
Life
it.
finds a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Go ahead, Andy.
on this here, the only screw that you will have to take apart, if you're, like I said, we're going to probably do a thumb screw for this, but the only screw that you need to take out would be your takedown screw.
Okay.
So, and then once you have that, you can literally just use like a bullet tip, or I'm just using this Allen wrench here because I got it handy. Just pop, there's a couple pins. They pull out from the side here. They're captive too, so you get them to a certain point and they stop. They're kind of like semi-captive. You can actually take them out all the way, but they've got a little spring detent deal in there that holds them in place. And then I'll try to hold this up.
Ah.
So you can see the upper portion, or the receiver, let's say like the serialized receiver and barrel, that tips up here.
Mm-hmm.
And then your trigger pack, see if I can pull this out. Your trigger pack.
Oh, that just comes right up. Okay.
Comes right out. You can see in green here. I've got it printed in green. Not that.
Ah.
Really
So
matters,
is that part of the linkage?
That's part of the linkage, exactly. So
Okay.
this is what you would adjust the take-up on, and this also gives you your cam action. So when you pull back on the trigger, which it's here, when you pull back on that, it's essentially rotating that cam to the rear.
Can we see inside? How long is that linkage in there? Can we see it from if you tipped it over?
I'll see if I can hold it up here.
Okay,
it's
just pull
hidden.
it. Okay, it's hit. Is it in a channel?
Yeah, it's in a channel. It runs.
Okay.
You can kind of see basically up here by my finger. I'll try to get it up over your logo, and then all the way back to here. So it's about 10 inches or so, maybe 12. I really don't know. I haven't measured it, firsthand, or it's in the CAD file, but I haven't actually pulled a spec off of it. And yeah, it's unlike some of the other designs, including our 9022. It runs both sides of the left and right of the receiver. So it's being basically controlled from two dimensions or two sides. So when you pull back on the trigger, you're not getting torque. Let's say not axially around that axle. It's a nice straight push across the back of the I'll show you here. These little ears. I don't know if you can see them.
Okay.
Those little ears that stick out. Those are what are grabbed by a channel inside the trigger mechanism. So it's a stamped steel trigger mechanism that's all laser cut. So it's very precise, and we can kind of control the dimensions pretty well. So that allows us to get a pretty tight fit. But it also still moves, fairly, easily without much friction on it. So, and then there's a return spring for it. And then again, as I talked about, this cam mechanism, this would work for only the factory trigger packs. So if you've got, like your OEM.
Show that again.
Oh yeah, here we go. So this model, or this version of it, it'll come with both. It'll ship with both. Right now, we're thinking this will only work with the factory version because it engages the trigger in a very particular way. And if you were to put it with, say, an aftermarket trigger, it may not fit or it may not work. So that would be for the factory. Let's say we're hoping the BX trigger will work as well with that. But pretty much all the factory, classic 1020 trigger packs will work with that.
Yeah.
If you're going to use an aftermarket trigger, different trigger shoe, different internal trigger components, whatever that may change the relationships of those parts, we are going to have an option for, and it'll work very, very similar in how it assembles, but it would just be a straight 1-to-1. So rather than having a cammed, pull where you're actually rotating that assembly, that linkage, it's actually a direct pull. So you pull back on the trigger, and it just pushes that rod straight into your trigger and pulls it that way, kind of like it does currently on the 9022.
Okay.
So it'll work both ways. It's just you'll have to, kind of when you assemble it, you have to know what your trigger, if you have just the factory trigger or if you have, say, an aftermarket trigger, just because there's so many different versions and sizes and styles. I mean, there's literally hundreds of different trigger styles available from different makers out on the market right now. So we're
you're getting questions about the binary. Can it be binary?
Absolutely, yeah. And so that's another thing that we're working on too for our 9022. I know people have asked a lot about that, and we do have that in the works right now. So that will be an option that you'll see going forward here. Yep, Walther's got it there. The binary trigger, basically it'll be an extension to the safety.
Let's see that, Walt. There you go.
Because on our 9022, and you can probably see it in Walter's shop there is the access to the factory safety. So you can put the binary trigger assembly in there, but you won't have any way to switch it right now because, again, it's kind of tucked up into the stock. You have access to it, but not really for a switch. It's more, it works for the button. So what we're doing is we're developing an extension that will allow you to still use that switch mechanism. With our current, or this new stock, the one that I'm currently holding here, that one, the button is already accessible. So you can, actually, I don't have it, I'll put it back in here so you can see, but you have your button on your safety up there, and once you drop it into the stock, your button is still going to be accessible on the outside. You can maybe see, so your safety is still there. So a binary trigger in this shouldn't be any issue at all. Should be able to, there might need to be some type of extension to just get it around some of the contours of our stock, but absolutely, binary trigger will be something that should be supported fairly early on with our kit. So
any other questions from Walter or from Rich on
no,
this?
That's pretty amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, we're pretty excited about this one. There's a lot of features on it that again you don't really find on too many other Bullpup conversions. Notably, again, the trigger and the takedown are going to be your big advantages to this over other designs. Then there's some other cool stuff too.
How are you? Yeah, what's the forward charging? Go ahead. Don't let me stop your flow on that one.
Forward charging handle. So here and
I like that.
Here.
So forward side charging for people listening on audio. And if you're listening on audio, this looks really good. You might want to go over to one of the video channels and take a look at this. Go ahead.
Yep. So it's forward charging. Right now we are kind of trying the idea of, and it's in the design right now. We'll see how well it works in practice. It's difficult with 3D printed prototype parts because there's some limitations to the strength. But currently, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get a, with this, I'll show you so you can see on this side. We're trying to get it so that you get a HK style hold open here, kind of like we have on our MBS 95, where you can hold it open with that and then push down the charging handle to get it to go back into battery. So the prototype part works well and everything seems to be good on it, but until we get the final molded parts, we don't want to commit to anything. And kind of same with all these design features. We've tested it pretty rigorously with what we have here, but until you have the final parts in hand, it's so hard to really commit to anything in the design because you just don't know how the actual molded parts are going to behave coming out of a press. So
Walter's showing off his kit. So the if you guys don't have any questions, I'll ask this. By the way, Cruiseman says I think this stock looks cool. So you
Oh yeah.
definitely,
Well, thank you.
yeah, definitely getting the cool factor. So the black part there, the upper part of that, that's also 3D printed, right? Or it's also going to be polymer.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
everything
Okay.
on here is 3D printed. It's going to have, you can't maybe see it because it is all black here, but we've got three M-lock slots at the
Okay.
basically the 3 o'clock and the 9 o'clock position.
Mhm.
And right now I've got those covered with another product we're developing. It's a rubberized plug for those. So if you are going to be gripping around here, it's nice to have that just to kind of cover the holes, make it a little more comfortable. And the same goes for back here because you can see we have an M-lock slot down here and one
Oh,
up
cool.
here.
Yeah, I mean,
But that's also
I was gonna ask you if Walter probably knows where I'm going with this.
Oh, I know where you're
I
going.
was gonna ask you if it has QD points, but M-Lock is still good because you could put M-Lock QDs or whatever on
Yeah,
there, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
exactly, yep. And
Mhm.
that's really the way we're looking at it because we're
Mhm.
trying to keep this as economical as possible. We
Mhm.
want to make this for in that $150 to $200 top. We don't want to go above that if we can avoid it, but trying to make it as economical as possible. Anytime we can remove machine parts that maybe not everybody is going to use, that saves a lot of money. So if you're somebody who doesn't run slings or doesn't want to run a sling, an M-lock slot is just as useful as say a QD mount, and it costs a lot less. So you can put one in if you want. If you don't want it, you can actually use this like a standard nylon sling loop. So you could put
Yeah, just you
just
just go
webbing
all the
through
way
there
through.
if you
You
want.
just go all the way through, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why we went with M-lock on that. Not to say down the road maybe we would offer some type of a model
Mhm.
that had QV inserts or cups already in it. But
No,
if
you
we can
did
cut
good.
down the
That's
cost,
good. Yeah, I've got no
yeah.
complaints with that. Mhm.
And so both of these, what's part of the reason that we're developing these grip or not grip, but like M-lock, grippy plugs would be that these go right into the storage compartments that I showed you earlier in the butt here. And so if you want to seal these off and not get water, debris, whatever, you're going to want some type of a cap around them.
Yeah.
And so that's why we have these as well. So if you're not going to put anything in it, it's not just a gaping hole in the side of the stock. You can plug it and keep water and sand and that kind of stuff from getting in there. And the
Mhm.
same goes with these up here too. It gives
Mhm.
you a nice surface to grip on, and it kind of keeps stuff out of there. And then obviously, like all of our other products that have M-lock on them, you can, or any M-lock product, not just ours, you could plug say an AR rail, make it much more comfortable, so you're not skinning your hand every time you're running up and down, and gives you a nice kind of sticky tactile material that you can hold on to. So that'll be something that you see dropping at some point in the future here too. But that's one of the other things that we're working kind of concurrently with this whole design. So
What was the reason for the big? I'm sorry, Walt. You had a question. Go ahead. I'll remember
Well,
mine.
go ahead and finish. I got a question going back in time to this one, but
Yeah.
go
So
ahead.
my question was about that big. So off of the grip, right in front of it, there's like a big.
yeah,
I
the
guess
knuckle
like
guard.
guard. Yeah, knuckle guard coming out. What was the reasoning
Yep.
behind that?
Yeah, so we started putting this on our MBS 95, or yeah, the MBS 95, and people, I think, by and large, generally prefer running them with them. And the reason that I like running on mine, and the reason that I think you see them on a lot of
Mm-hmm.
bullpups now, like for instance, I actually got one here, the Steyr Og, of
Right.
course,
Oh,
has one.
nice. Very nice.
The Tavor, you
Mm-hmm.
see them on bullpups a lot, and I think uh, one of the things that as you shoot bullpups and use them more often, one of the things you'll notice is that you don't really have a whole lot of hand protection here, which may not seem like such a big deal. But when you are used to, say, running an AR and AK, your magazine is kind of creating a natural, let's say, block point or guard against your hand. If you go sliding into a barricade, if you're trying to rest on something,
Mm-hmm.
your knuckles are going to be in a bullpup. They're going to take the brunt of it, unless you have a
Yeah.
foregrip or something like that.
Yeah. You
It's
need
really not
something.
anything.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
if you're if you're out in the woods and you're busting brush.
Yeah.
That's another.
Yeah,
We're gonna
exactly.
take a quick break here. We're coming back with all the gore and all the.
We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of a DAO, or decentralized autonomous organization like TUSC Crypto. TUSC cryptocurrency is a firearm-friendly e-commerce option for online payment transactions, secured on the blockchain. So when you're in the crypto market, please consider TUSC, TUSC.
Was that Crump that was trying to come in with his name Lola Strange? There was someone that was coming in and their name was Lola Strange, but they didn't. The camera wasn't on, so I let him in, but I didn't. I didn't put him on the screen. I know it was. I know it was Crump. It probably was. I don't know where he is though. I'm not hearing from him. All right, so listen. We're gonna get into a bunch of guns here. We're gonna show a bunch of guns just because. Look, that's what we do. We're having fun. We got people here with guns. Let's start with Walter. Go ahead, Walt. What you got?
I want to go back in time and I want to ask a question about Defoe magazine for the
What's that?
for this guy. I haven't handled this in a while, so I pulled it out and I was like, "Does this thing unsnap so I can put a bunch of rounds in it to store?"
It actually, there's a tray in the front end that you pull out, and that's where you can store the extra ammo. So if you go to
the tray.
Let me set this thing down here. I was fondling it and moving it around and trying to figure it out, and I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, I thought it.
Ah,
Look at that, boom!
There
Nice.
you go. So that'll hold 45 rounds of 22, and it holds them horizontally to kind of mimic the look of, say, a fully loaded PS90 magazine. So,
yeah, we're gonna have to go back and make a video. Did we talk about that in our video?
I'm excited now.
I can't remember if we did or we didn't. I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll see if I don't know if you guys can get.
Yeah, hold on. Let's go in.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that'll hold. It'll hold 45 rounds. This one I actually have in 17 HM2. Believe it or not. So it's a pretty slick setup actually. I really like this one. I shoot this one. Somewhat often. I try not to too much because that 17 HM2 can be hard to find, but it's a cool round. It's pretty neat ballistically. So
okay. I just had a little thought in my head while we were talking there. I get them every once in a while. You can just nod or wink. You don't have to say if you're doing something with it or not. Ruger Charger PC.
Oh, I mentioned this before. I hinted at it before.
Wait, what was that? What was that you had up? I didn't switch to you quick enough. What was that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, I'll bring it back. This is. There you
go.
That's kind of a modular gun, if you know.
Yeah. So imagine, if you will, this, but in a little bit bigger platform.
Well, when you split that thing apart, my first thought was they're splitting that so they can put a different bottom on it, maybe, or a different top on it.
Yeah, no, that would be good.
Yeah, there's some potential for that, depending on how everything fits in there. But at the very least, taking that concept and applying it to the PC carbine down the road here. We've got some of the design work done. We've got some early tests on it, but I guess our theory was, based on the number of 1022 actions that are out there, that's going to really be a good test market.
Yeah.
Make sure the concept works. And because the nice thing is, too, in those PC carbines, they're essentially based on the 1022. Their trigger mechanism uses a lot of 1022 components. The assembly method, it's got 2 pins in roughly the same location. So it's really a great test market for the PC Bullpup that we're working on, because we want to make sure that everything, one, works the way that it should, and two, that there would be a market, because the PC carbine, it's popular, but we don't know, compared to, say, the 1022, what that market looks like.
Pistol caliber carbine. It's too bad we don't know anyone that's working on some pistol caliber carbine or Bullpup versions said of therefore. Wherefore art thou?
Well, all I was going to say is great minds think alike. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, there we go. Rich has got Rich is that stock is actually pretty cool, Rich. I'm not gonna lie.
Look, everything I've done is pretty much a copy. I just modified. Actually, it would have taken me like 10 hours to print the full size stock. I'm like, I was probably going to be in your neighborhood and probably stop by and bring this to your house. And I'm like, well, if I redesign it so I can put extruded metal conduit here, I could print it in like 4 hours and have it ready to go to Hank's.
Oh yeah. Is it? So my question with it, and here, let me throw everyone else up on the screen. Is it shooting better for you? I know you've been working on some of that. And by the way, for the folks listening on audio, Rich has a Bullpup Glock 34 3D printed that we got plans from Control Pew. We got parts from JSD Supply, Barnauls, and I don't know who else I'm missing.
Razor JB.
Yeah, Razor JB.
Razor JB sent me sights, and he sent me the recoil, the spring. What do you call it?
Thingy.
Guide
the
rod.
technical term is a thingy.
The guide rod. So, unfortunately, this is like my first remix on it. I haven't gotten the parts swapped out into my next remix. That's a little beefier. I've only been able to get like 5 shots in a row out of it without it stovepiping. So I think there's a little bit of a flex issue right here. And I think my next version is probably going to take care of that.
Yeah. Everyone finds out what is that? Is that like a marbled stock right there? Did you print it to look marbled? What does that look like?
No, that's just the paint chipping off the tubing.
Okay. All right, I was like, what the?
That's patina, Hank.
Yeah. It's all good. Like, everyone thinks, first of all, the dudes that make videos about this, there's some good videos out there. I think Tactical Toolbox makes some really beautiful, awesome videos. But, everyone makes this stuff look easy. Everyone makes it look easy to do this, but it's not so easy. It's not easy to develop this, and no one would know better than Andy and Walter. Dudes who make guns, or like, actually, Hightower you guys make stocks, right, and accessories.
Yeah, just pretty much accessories. It's it's a little less of a headache dealing with the ATF.
It's a lot less of it.
a lot. Yeah, ATF is great.
I got my parts here.
Oh, yeah. So, Walter, let's see, Walter,
Yes,
did
sir.
you have something else you were going to show? Let's see your other. You've got your right in your hand right there. You got the high point, the 10 mil.
Yes, the 10mm high point. Yes.
Yeah, which is in the videos. The video called High Point Carbine Bros. I should have tagged. I thought I tagged Hightower on that, but maybe I didn't. I could have forgotten about that. I try to tag everyone I possibly can because YouTube is definitely suppressing the crap out of that video. But it's up on YouTube. Yeah. It's on YouTube/Hank Strange for anyone who wants to see. It's a fun video. You get to see Babyface P's idea of a magazine, a single stack. I don't even know what to call that craziness. And happy birthday to Babyface P, by the way. Today's his birthday.
Oh, it's Patrick's birthday today and Crumpy's birthday tomorrow.
Oh, look at that! All crazy people born in the early Februarys.
Mine is on Sunday, I believe.
There you go. Yeah. There's got to be something to that. That's born under a crazy sign. Yeah. So anyway, shout out to Patrick on that. Let me show this here before we get into more stuff with Andy of High Point Armory. I'm gonna show. Here's my KSG. I haven't pulled this one out in a while, yo. Check it out. Ooh. There it goes. KSG for you. This is old school, man. I overpaid for this bad boy. And I still have this thing. I think this is for the isn't this for that silencer code? What is that suppressor called? Yeah, that's for my
hell.
No, what's the 12 gauge that silencer code made? Does anyone remember? Because I have one. Can't remember what it's called.
That's so funny too, because there was such excitement about that when it came out.
Yeah.
Salvo 12.
Salvo. Yeah, Salvo 12. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, so this has actually been a pretty good gun. I never really had any issues with this, except I did get the bite from the shell casings hitting my wrists, so I do have that deflector right there that you guys see.
Yeah.
To deal with that, and I have some like iron sights. These are actually, I think these are diamond. What is it called? Diamond. I don't have my glasses on, so diamond head, iron pop-up sights on here. I forgot my glasses, so sorry. I'm getting old. I'm an old man now. I'm like 50, so I've hit old man category, according to my children. I'm supposed to slow down now. And
don't you have to buy a Corvette when you're an old man?
Oh yeah, Corvette, yeah, and go live in the villages
down the road.
Yeah,
no, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut about the villages.
Go ahead. Okay, well, go for it.
No, we're not gonna take it that route.
That's okay.
No,
trust me, Andy's heard it all. I'm sure.
I know, but
he looks young. He looks like he's got that baby face, but he's probably heard it all.
Yeah, there's not much I haven't heard.
Yeah, there you go. Where are you from again, Andy? Where are you? Where are you located?
I'm from the little town of Rogers, Minnesota, which is about 40 minutes northwest of Minneapolis. So.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, kind of the suburbs of Minneapolis a little bit. But
suburbs. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's cold out. I think it was, I don't know, it was like -8 or something.
Ooh.
Last week. So yeah, pretty nasty. But yeah.
Yeah.
Because you guys.
And there's no skyway by you, huh?
No. Not 40 minutes from Minneapolis. No.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You guys have been frozen ass cold, but not a lot of snow.
Well, actually, I think this year it's been better. We had a really bad drought actually, pretty much all summer. We weren't getting much, and so yeah, like the water table, the rivers, lakes, everything's way down up here. So we've gotten some more snow, and I think we're doing okay. I don't know if it'll be enough to replenish what we lost over the summer, but we're hoping that's the case here when things melt.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, you guys.
So do you go skiing at Lutzen?
Actually, I had a couple buddies that were just up at Lutzen not long ago. So yeah, I haven't been personally, but I know right where that's at. So have you been up there?
Oh yeah. I did 2 years in Minnesota. I worked over at the Mayo Clinic on a contract. So either one of my buddies would ski at Lutzen, or actually out of Minneapolis, you'd get like $99 flights to Denver.
Oh, okay.
So he'd go out to Denver almost every weekend skiing.
Yeah. Sure. So you at the Rochester campus then?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Very cool. Yeah. No, Rochester's a great town. I like it down there.
But the three of us, we're all in Florida right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's cold. It's cold here too, man. Right now it's at least
it's like 59.
Yeah, 60, maybe 55.
69.
It's cold.
Yeah, 69
degrees.
Let's see. Let's think.
That's cold. Listen. No kidding. It is cold. Last night was cold.
67. Oh my gosh.
67. Jeez.
How are you going to survive?
Yeah. Heat wave.
I don't know, man.
Very well. Walter is in a completely different part of Florida from myself, and Rich is further south. Yeah.
He's further south. I'm in the middle, and Hank's up
in the north. So. Yeah. So let me see right now. I don't know. I'll pull up my weather thing, and you guys could see where I'm sitting right here. Let's see. It should come up.
67
here. The weather. There we go. So where I'm sitting, Newberry, Florida's, is 58 degrees here. Feels like 56.
Ooh.
I mean, yeah, that's too cold, man. That's too cold.
Yeah, basically when it's below 70, we just don't go outdoors. It's too cold.
Yeah. And Cruiseman says more VD per capita in the villages. He says, I said it for Walter. Yeah, because those old people are balling out.
You know,
take the daily penicillin.
Yeah.
You go to happy hour and you bang the old ladies. That's what they do.
Listen, I went to the villages sometime last year. I actually went to the villages there. You know what? I went up there with Latinos Locked and Loaded. So with Rolando and Joanna, Ro and Joe have a friend who retired. I think he was in he was Air Force MP, and then he was I think that he was a detective in Miami or something like that. law enforcement. And anyway, he retired and he lives in the Villages. Beautiful house that he has in the Villages, and all the communities, like in his garage, he had like, I think it was either 2 or 3 freaking golf carts. Yeah. And we were just driving around in golf carts. And so in his community, we went to a part of the community where there was about 5 food trucks parked up over there. So you get in your golf cart and then you scoot down to the food trucks. He had a pizza one. This one had this one had Asian food. This, had Mexican food. And then there's a big outdoor thing, and there were people playing music outdoors, and the folks singing and dancing. Listen, that's a good life, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Plenty of widows. I mean that's.
I can't hate on the old players.
Is Peggy watching, Walter? Because I'm waiting for Peggy to come in and swat you.
Yeah.
Nothing I say surprises her.
And Andy looks like you're the youngest one of us. Can I ask you how old you are, Andy?
I am 31 years old.
Oh, okay.
You qualify. Yeah.
Yeah, you can be in this.
To be fair, though, so I'll just quick tangent. But I was out probably, I think 2 summers ago. I run in my neighborhood, and I was out for a run, and one of my neighbors who had said hi to before, I'd seen him out and about, and I stopped and talked to him because he was out with his dog, and I said, hey, who are you? What's your name? And said, oh yeah, my name's Andy. We introduced ourselves, and he said, yeah, I seen you running. Are you going to make varsity this year, do you think? So,
yeah, you do. You got
anyway,
a baby face.
I do have kind of a baby face myself, so I can relate to Pat. I get the baby face thing. I get it a lot. So, yeah, it's, I don't know.
It's not a curse. It's a good thing.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
Just imagine that baby face, 60 years from now when you're in the Villages, you're going to be getting all the honeys.
I know how this goes. One day I'm going to wake up, I'll be 55, and I'm going to look like I'm 80. You know what I mean? I look like I'm 12 up until I'm about 40, and then everything just hits the floor. It's over.
You got to stay chiseled, man. You got to stay chiseled.
I try.
Old dudes, you could be fat in the middle of your life, but when you can become an old dude, you got to chisel up. I told Lola I'm going to start working out, pumping iron.
Pumping iron.
She was like, yeah, go ahead.
How about some yard work?
No.
No.
That's
what we do when we go to Hank's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we need to get the Hightower guys to come out and see us, and we'll do like a big Hightower Armory shoot out there, and we'll have a big bonfire with leaves. What do you say, Andy?
I would love that. Honestly, I haven't been to Florida since I was like 10.
Okay.
I think our parents took us to Disney World probably about then, and that was like maybe one of the 5 times I've been on a plane in my entire life. And so I've been meaning to get out and actually go do something. But it's been tough. I mean, Walter knows. Well, you guys all know when you're trying to do anything, especially run your own business, it's pretty tough to get. You try to get pulled away for a week or something, and it's brutal. So we're trying to do more of that. It would be nice to go to SHOT Show. We haven't done that yet. There's a lot of things. Within the industry even that we probably should do, but it's been such a challenge to find time to go around and do a lot of the things that we'd like to. But no, if we get it set up, if you guys want us to come down, I would be more than happy to come down and hang out for a couple of days because I just think it'd be a lot of fun. And it's nice to network and meet people face to face. This is great. Don't get me wrong, but there's something about being with people that really kind of cements a relationship and creates opportunities that lead to long term new
relationships.
New so,
absolutely.
Sure.
All right, so Andy, you can just wink or nod. You guys are not manufacturers. You don't do things that run. You don't have fun switches on your guns, right? You don't have.
We do not.
Okay. I know you've seen 1022s full auto, right? You've seen them in videos.
I've seen a full auto 1022 in one of our stocks actually. Believe it or not, there was a gentleman that had a Norel receiver.
That's what it sounds like.
It was a riot. It was super cool.
Walter, are you saying, do you want to build one as one of the projects that we do this year? You want to do one?
It's possible. I mean, we talked about it when we did this, but we just got lost in other things. So.
Yeah, let's do one with this new stock. We just need to get the 1022 lower, and then we'll have the high tower armory guys come. We'll even invite FlyinRich. FlyinRich, you're pre-invited to the hacienda.
Are you recording this, Rich?
This is evidence. You can use this as evidence later. But no, we'll totally do that. Rich has got some stuff,
Well, I gotta get a couple fun switches for the Glocks too. So, maybe once you get that thing running a little more reliable, we'll go out and see if we can break it with it.
Oh yeah.
Some 30 round.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
Weren't you, Walter? I'm surprised you weren't on that Amazon fiasco 6 months ago or whatever it was.
Surprised?
Did you find one of your fun
You
switches?
mean that FBI honey trap?
I mean, get your fun switch on Facebook Marketplace?
No, there's no way. Don't fall for that kind of stuff, people. And that's how you. Yeah.
I was real upset. The solvent trap I got doesn't work. There's a hole in the end.
Right.
It just runs right out.
Oh my god.
Let me take my headphones off. See?
Yeah, we don't hear this. 42 Chill said flip flops inbound.
That's right. Rich is shooting.
That's
flip
FlyinRich. Yeah. Yeah, Andy. FlyinRich goes to the range. I did something with. He goes everywhere in flip flops. So what am I saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's he likes to show everyone his manicured toes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he likes to. I'm not kidding. Am I kidding?
So
am I kidding, Rich?
Flip flops are just bad with PS90s. That's the only issue.
Am I lying about the manicured toes?
They're not manicured.
Really?
Okay, we'll change that.
Wait, hold on. Don't throw the toes up. No, we don't need to see them. We don't see it. Rich is the only dude I know. You know how you see women do those shots at the beach where they show their feet? Rich, I've seen you do it. Don't lie.
Well, wait, hang on.
Don't make me pull up Instagrams now.
He's not here to defend himself, but I know Rod Mills says he's got a manicure before or a pedicure before. I think, so I'm gonna.
I believe it. I totally believe it.
Yeah, no manicures. Women handle all that. They get that stuff done.
So now you're not admitting it. Basically, you're
going.
Oh, look at this! I just went into Instagram. Yeah, there was a post that I just got a post removed from Instagram. I got a community guidelines thing. Here, I'll throw it up here for you guys. It has something to do with the Big Daddy guys. What is this? That looks like I can't even zoom in on it. Here, I'll come off of that here for a second, and I'll screen capture it so we could find out exactly what gun that is because I can't zoom in on it. It looks like Walter shooting something though.
Well, yeah.
That's what the picture looks like.
Yeah,
damn you, Walter.
SOT, all that stuff, and I'm shooting illegal guns.
Yeah,
okay, yeah, right.
Damn you, Walter. Yeah, so let me just. I gotta X through that somehow so I could see, Instagram here, and let's go to High Tower Armory. I just want to show everyone the High Tower Armory Instagram. You guys need to go in there and Walter, Rich, go in there and show some love on this post because Andy did this right before the start of the show, and this is like a super debut going on right here of this gun on the show, an exclusive.
We haven't talked about this anywhere else. This is the first time anybody's seen it outside of direct people in the company. So
and we appreciate that. Thanks for that.
Of course, no, thanks for having us on.
Yeah, let's see. Do we need to find FlyinRich? Because he's denying it. Right now, FlyinRich is trying to delete stuff because he knows I'm going for his Instagram.
Yeah, you got to scroll down for a while.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've seen FlyinRich throwing up his toes in a post. And I was like, what is Rich doing exactly? I probably have to go way down. Yeah. It's too much scrolling. Too much scrolling to be done to find Oh, there he goes. I didn't have to go that far. Right there.
Yeah, that's in my house in New York.
Okay, that's the picture of your feet, right?
Yeah, but
Bros
usually I
don't
do the
let
beach.
bros show their toes. Bros don't let bros show their toes.
Well, it became a whole goof, you know.
Oh, look, you're showing that you're doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
I
yeah,
see.
I
It's a
got
thing now.
tan
It's a thing.
lines.
Oh, okay. All right. It's a thing. Okay. Listen, I'm not going to judge you too much. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit there. Okay, let's see. Whose Instagram do we need to? We can show Safety Harbor Firearms.
Yeah.
Instagram as well. You guys need to go check out the Safety Harbor Firearms Instagram right there. Let's see what Walter's got a bunch of stuff. Is this from? This is
Oh,
from
you know
SHOT
what?
Show.
This is an opportunity to take a photograph here because both of the high power guns are nested next to each other.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. So there is another thing I wanted to talk about. The guys, and then we'll get right back to the high tower armory thing. So AmmoLand has this up, but I've seen it in other places. Brownells launches National Day to celebrate Second Amendment. So
yes,
Brownells inaugural 2A. So they're gonna start it on 2/22/22. So that's February
Woohoo.
22nd, 2022. Brownells invites liberty-minded people across America to celebrate, advocate, join in the freedoms guaranteed under the Second Amendment of the Bill of Rights during the inaugural National Second Amendment Day presented by Brownells on 2/22/22.
Cool.
2022. The spirit of this event is to designate a day that we as a nation recognize, celebrate, and do our part to secure one of the most important rights guaranteed by our Constitution, the right to keep and bear arms. And Pete Brownell, chairman of the board, many states, this is a quote from him, many states celebrate the Second Amendment independently, and that's a great thing. This event, which we hope continues to grow in size, scale, and scope, is aimed at bringing all freedom-loving Americans together on one day, 2/22, this year and every year going forward to show support for our beloved Second Amendment. So there's going to be a bunch of things going on. You guys can find this all over social media.
Cool. And I got to meet Pete Brownell.
Yeah, good dude.
yeah, you
Yeah.
did.
Um,
He's standing there, Pete's minding his own business, and all of a sudden he walks up. Hey, here's Hank.
Yeah.
He's like, what? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Hank,
So-
how you doing?
He was
So-
super smooth about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pete's a
yeah,
nice.
he's cool.
Pete's a good guy. He's a good guy.
It-
What happened, Andy, is Walter and FlyinRich were at SHOT Show, and I wasn't. So they were going remote, and we were here, broadcasting them in Vegas, and they were walking around, going around to the booths, however you say that, and it was fun though. That was fun. Someone needs to go back and screen capture that.
No, and it was Andy. It was the SHOT Show this year. I would say probably less than half of the normal attendance.
Oh, really? Think COVID scaring people away still, or what's
and I survived it just fine. I came back with nothing,
Mhm.
but and then a whole bunch of companies weren't there. So when we walked up to the Brownells booth, it was kind of empty. I'll be honest with you. But there was a little group talking in the corner, and that was I said to Rich, "There's Pete Brownell," and he goes, "Oh, really? Let's go talk to him." It's like, boom, right over there, like a freaking like a vulture on a dead rat or something. Coming over.
Don't tell Rich to do something. He doesn't have a gate. If you tell him to do something, there's no gate in his brain that goes, this might not be a good idea.
My wife
Anyway,
conditioned
Pete
me.
was
I'm
cool.
just
Pete
used
was
to,
cool.
you know.
So
Yeah.
at least one thing about SHOT and it being that busy was first thing you can look at things without having 100 other people, standing in line waiting to touch that same gun you just touched, or
Right.
touched it before you, so to speak. But it was definitely slower, and a lot of the big companies bailed out. So yeah.
Was there
It was
anything?
different.
What would you say the best? I mean, new thing? Because I've seen some of the stuff that came out of it, and it seemed maybe like it wasn't. I mean, it's just hard because there's so many things that are kind of played out. But was there anything new that really, spoke to you and said this is the coolest thing that showed up this year on SHOT?
I saw some neat stuff. I mean, it wasn't like anything. Oh God, I got to go see that. What I really wanted to go see, and Hank always he's going to turn his nose up. But Springfield Armory had the Hellion.
Oh, the
Their new
Helion, but
bullpup.
that's a bullpup. That's okay.
I wanted to go
It's
see
Croatian.
that bad. I needed to talk to Zenith, Zenith Firearms, because they're making their own MP5 now, and they've used my stock on their gun and they like my stock, so I wanted to talk to them. They weren't there. It was just one of those things where
Wait,
it's like,
Springfield Armory wasn't there?
no, they were not.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I mean, I was.
They were
all
probably
excited.
busy somewhere making carve-outs for themselves.
And IWI wasn't there, but they had somebody pushing out their swag on the table.
Yeah, they're putting people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, their booth was completely set up. So just like IWI, big ass booth, nobody there.
I should have got a T-shirt, like a polo made IWI, and just hung out there.
Yeah, there was several companies when we went to SEMA show before that, and I think even a SHOT Show, there were companies that sent their booths there, and a lot of companies keep their booths in Vegas for SHOT Show and other shows. So they maybe paid someone to have the booth set up so you can go there, you could see them, they could still market. Some companies had screens that were playing videos and things like that. At SEMA, you guys saw that at SHOT Show also, right?
There was a little bit of that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the booths had minimal staff. There's very few people. I think it was a mistake actually, because I didn't get sick from going to SHOT Show. I got the mung from going in with a family event at Christmas time. I mean, I didn't get it bad. It's just like having a kind of a weak cold flu thing. I mean, it only lasts a couple days. But SHOT Show, I came away fine with that. So.
Yeah, understood. I mean,
yeah.
Listen,
SEMA
at
was
the end,
same
I
way.
regretted it
SEMA-
too. I should have gone there too. I should have gone,
Yeah.
but I had other stuff going on. I had to make some money so I could buy guns. I had to do some van stuff, man. You guys can't,
I mean, once you have we have a booth there, so once you have your place stuff paid for, I mean, it's kind of silly not to go. I mean, if you don't show up, you paid for the space. Your space will still be there. Now, if you just don't go, like if one year I decide I'm not going to SHOT Show anymore, then I lose my space, and you start from scratch.
Yeah, you got a great spot, Walter.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually
welcome.
put in if I can move someplace else, but
no, that's a good spot though.
I want to stay in that same room. I just might want to change position a little bit.
Yeah, you were very close to Franklin Armory, sponsor of the show, as I'm telling everyone. And they had a Glock, Andy. I don't know if you heard about this or saw this. They had the binary for the Glock. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I've seen the announcement on that. I'm pretty excited to see how it runs. So I'm assuming it's a whole new slide that you need, correct?
Yeah.
From them.
So it is slide and trigger.
Yeah.
Oh, it's slide and trigger?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't.
It seems like a cool concept.
Yeah, I haven't seen one myself. Okay, so listen, we got some time here. We got a little bit of time here left in the show. We need to get back into the stocks. Well, first of all, do you guys have anything else coming out? Any other stuff coming out from Hightower Armory?
Yeah, so we have some other little accessories. I kind of covered some of that. We're going to have some accessories for our MBS 95. I think a larger charging handle would be one of the first things you'll see. That's going to be coming out pretty soon. We have kind of wrapped up some of the design work on that. It's just production now. But that's been a challenge.
Look, what's that, Rich? What is that?
That's the charging handle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to make we've had a lot of requests for an oversized handle, so that'll be something that you see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. One thing, actually, part of the reason I grabbed this AUG, one of the things that's been selling really well, but not many people know we make it, it's these Glock pistol sight bases, which I don't know if you can...
Oh, really? Okay.
So
interesting.
What's nice is there's a lot of firearms like the AUG. If you've got the standard kind of the M1 optic, where maybe you can't fit, let's say, traditional flip-up sights. Either the sight radius is too short, it would be too high off your cheek weld if you're sighting down. If you were to put flip-ups on here, they'd be foot over your head.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about these is that you can kind of set the sight.
That's
To
cool.
whatever you want. So if you want to put night sights on here, you can put night sights on here. So it's actually really nice for like home defense, where if the
Are
lights
you
go
seeing
out.
this, Walt? Are you looking at this? I don't know if Walt's
Yeah,
frozen or not.
it's like a well, I'm boosting High Tower Armory on thing,
Oh, you
but
are? Yeah. That's cool, Walt. Don't you have an older style art
yeah, I
like
have
this?
the not the Steyr itself, but
The
the
clone.
Microtech, the Microtech.
Yeah, look at this. This is cool. Yeah, and
Yeah,
there's some
so
other. Yeah,
I'll try to do this. I don't know if you can see.
yeah,
I'm trying not to point it at myself here, but
right.
yeah, you can kind of make out the sight
Hmm.
picture there. But you can
Yeah.
put, what's cool is you can put like, if you want a ghost ring, Glock, there's Glock ghost rings that you can put
Hmm.
on there for a rear sight. These
Oh,
are
okay.
just basic Trigicon night sights. So yeah, when the lights go out, or if it's nighttime, home defense kind of situation, you've got something that's quick. It glows in the dark.
Hmm.
You don't have to worry about not being able to use your optic because you're not getting any light through it.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of
Yeah.
other options too for adjustability. Where I really like them is on I've got a PS90 that's got it's Ameriglow 7XL suppressor sights. That's like some of the tallest ones they make, and it co-witnesses in the lower third of like Trigicon RMRs or Vortex Venoms. So it works super well for that. So if your battery dies or something, you've got some really basic. They're nothing fancy, but you don't really need it if your red dot dies.
Wait,
If you need
wait, every
something picky on
PS90 has iron sights. What are you talking about?
I'm just
That
waiting
little
for
peephole
Rich.
in the pin.
I'm just waiting for him. Yeah. Listen, do we have like a discount code at Hightower Armory? I'm not trying to put any pressure on you right now.
No, yeah,
I'm just
I think
curious
we
if
do.
we do.
I'll have to activate it. I forgot to do it before this, but I'm glad you reminded
Oh,
me. I know we have one active every time we do a show. We usually, I think it's
okay.
Hank 10.
Okay.
So maybe give me till the end of the broadcast here. I can,
Yeah.
yeah, I can reactivate it. I think it usually expires in like a week or 2 weeks or something. I'll
Oh,
set it
okay.
back up so that after this closes, that'll save you 10% on your order. If
Yeah.
you want to check out Hightower Armory. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Use the code Hank10. It should be active after this. What's up, Walt? Oh,
I
Walt
just
throwing up pictures.
yeah,
Oh, we
it's
all.
on
So
the
let's all
gram,
go
on the
over. To,
gram.
let's all go over to. Let's all go over to Safety
Safety Harbor
Harbor the
Firearms.
Firearms. Safety
Yeah, look at
Harbor.
that, man.
There you
Harbor.
go, Safety Harbor. And
I
comment on it too. Let's help Walt. I gotta. By the way, I need to find out what that was before we end this. Before we end this show, I need to find out exactly how we got in trouble. Walt, I'm gonna zoom in on it
oh
here.
yeah, what they're saying? Are they saying it's illegal or
Yeah,
something?
what did I get this Instagram hit for now? As we end here. But definitely, there's some cool stuff. Andy, I don't know if you did remember any other things, but for the folks out there, if you want to, this stock is not available yet. But if you want to get any of the other stocks that Walter or FlyinRich show, Walt, did you want to say something?
Hightower also makes 1022 magazines, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, we do. In fact, these are out of stock right now, but we are currently making more. So these are our windowed RM25 25 round magazines for the 1022 and variants. It's got windows in the side here that are translucent, so you can see how many rounds are left in it, unlike the BX25. And again, kind of like our MBS 22 concept, we wanted this to be all toolless. So there is a disassembly button in the bottom. You push in on that, and the floor plate slides off. In fact, I'll show you. And you can disassemble the entire magazine
Sweet.
Oh wow.
in like 2
Yeah.
seconds. So if you shoot a lot of those waxed ammos, you'll get some of the bulk pack stuff that has a wax coating on it. That'll slowly build up inside of your magazines, and so it's nice to have that option to be able to kind of quickly get in there, clean that out, and then of course the round count windows are nice. And what's also cool is if you want to, you can set this up like kind of like a 22 pistol, where it's got the thumb assist loading option. If you pull these windows out, which you can, they're removable. They store inside the back of the magazine. You can actually pull the follower down from the outside then, and that'll help ease loading, make it easier to
cool.
To load
Yeah.
if you're shooting high volumes. So.
By the way, let me throw this up here. This is an old post, and I thought I removed a lot of this stuff because I don't really do anything with Big Daddy Unlimited, and that's the big thing I see up here. But this is from April of 2018, and I guess I just didn't get to it. But it's the PPSH, Walt. That's what
That's the rush the mom my
Yeah,
mom gun
but
that I made. Yeah.
that's not sold on any. Oh my God,
No,
this
yeah,
is
they're a
such a
bunch of
stupid thing.
turds, man. They don't know
Yeah,
what
that's
they're
a
looking
stupid
at.
thing, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, we don't.
We'll have to make another video. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's yeah. I still have the probably have the video somewhere, but yes, we can do another thing. I don't rock with the Big Daddy guns, guys. Anyway, so just
no,
for
no.
anyone out there who is curious about that. Um, I also don't
I
own them. There's a lot of stupid things like that going on. Not an
man.
owner
At least
or
people
anything.
don't. At least there's no rumors about you living in your mom's basement. You know, that's.
No, I'm living in my mom's camper van. So listen, I don't know if Walter or Flying Rich have anything else to add because we're at the end of the show here, and I'm not sure if Andy does either. But I think we should probably start wrapping it up here. I'm gonna let these guys tell you how you can get in touch with them. We'll start with Walter. How can people get in touch with you, support you, etc. Walt.
You can send smoke signals. You can stretch out the wire between two cans. That'll work.
Yeah.
Or you can find us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
There's also Safety Hour Firearms. That's safe. And I ride mini bikes and play with that stuff too, Andy. So Dirtfoot Racing's
Nice.
on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.
Stenpot.
There's Stenpots.com there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's coming up soon on Stent Parts for you guys. If you're looking for a Glock barrel, we're going to have Glock barrels. They're supposed to be here tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So 17, 19, threaded, unthreaded, and some 22 and 23 conversion barrels for 9mm.
Yeah, we'll
that
that's coming up soon, Walt.
Yeah, they're supposed to be here tomorrow. So
Okay, cool.
But I'll have those. They'll be up on the website probably tomorrow, maybe next day, something like that. So
yeah,
and they'll be priced affordably. Yes.
Yes.
I don't want to see them stick around. You know, I'm not about that.
Yeah.
I don't want them nesting. I want to make them go away.
He's not about that life. If you
I'm
let us know what
we'll get a camper van like Hank. I got to get a camper van.
Right.
Like Hank.
Okay. Sure. We if you let us know what, we'll put it out in an email blast. Lolo will put that out in one of our email blasts. DCG44 says Andy River made a left-handed 1022. Mags are different than standard for left. For left hand, high cap left mag opportunity ? So there you go.
Down the road, possibly. Yeah, I mean, it's anytime you're dealing with molded parts, which is mostly what we do. You have a high upfront cost, and you make your money back in volume. So
how is a magazine left-handed? Is that a thing? Is that really a thing?
Yeah. So
Ruger, he says, not Ruger, not River.
Yeah, quick learning lesson for people who are curious about the technical aspect of it. But actually, your magazine has an ejector built in. The 1022 has an ejector, but the ejector actually doesn't do anything on the 1022 other than if you were to say take the magazine out and attempt to eject a casing or a shell, full shell. And the ejector is, I'll try to show it here so you can see, it's actually this little tab at the tip of my finger. It's built into the design of the 1022 magazine. Oh, okay. So when you fire, the round comes out, kicks on that, and then is ejected. So that's why you need left-handed magazines with a left-handed 1022 because otherwise it wouldn't eject.
Genius! Now I know.
I got learned tonight.
You taught us something.
So that's one thing to be aware of is there's going to be a lot more involved to make a left-handed, system, I guess, than just a stock or just a receiver. It's also magazines. It's a lot of things that are all tied in together on that. So it may be something you see, but we would have to get enough demand for it before that would be something that we would realistically produce. So.
Okay, cool. Before I go on to Flying Rich to tell you guys, I just want to remind everyone, no show tomorrow or for the rest of the week. The van's going in the shop, and then I've got a bunch of stuff going on, and then I think we're gonna start being on the road because we've got some trips to do. We're still gonna be doing shows and stuff like that. Of course, we're on the warpath to 1,000 episodes here, but we've got some stuff going on right now. So no show for the rest of this week until we catch up with that. Flying Rich, tell the folks how they can get in touch with you, support you, where they can see you.
Sure. So youtube.com/flyingrich, flyingrich.com, Instagram, I'm flyingrich_official, and pretty much on every other social media, I'm Flying Rich. And Saturday, I'll be at the West Palm Beach Gun Show, and I got 50 polymerity kits I'm going to be selling, and stuff like this. In case you don't know what it is, it's a bad
bear
boomerang.
claw. Bear claw. I thought, I thought you had like 350.
That's a crotch scratcher. That's what that is. That's a crotch scratcher.
I'm not even going to say what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking here. Last but definitely not least, Andy of Hightower Armory. How can the folks communicate with you guys? Where should they go if they want to buy stuff from you? If they want to see your social media, where's the best places to go?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for having us, by the way. Yeah, we're on Facebook, Instagram. We have some of the other social medias, but I'll be honest, we pretty much only deal with Facebook and Instagram. And then if you want to get in touch with us directly, our website is www.hightowerarmory.com. And if you ever have questions too, feel free to email me. I'll give you my direct email. It's just my name, Andy, and that's at hightowerarmory.com. If you have any questions, I'm always happy to help. You can get in touch with us that way too. So.
Awesome. Yes, thanks for being here, man. I really do appreciate it. It's been a fun show. I'm really looking forward to seeing that kit when it comes out, and I think I think that we'll probably do a couple of different projects here, try to do some cool stuff during this year. So we'll probably do a couple things with Hightower Armory. I'm gonna roll in the end, and then we're gonna come back. One of you guys is gonna leave us with words of wisdom. Who wants to do it? Anyone got some words of wisdom? Are we putting it on Andy? Walter's putting. Everyone's pointing. Everyone's pointing to you, right. Andy. You got some words of wisdom. Hold on, we're not going to do it now.
It was FlyinRich.
FlyinRich. Okay, listen. You don't have to say it right now. I'm going to roll in the end here. I hope everyone has a great weekend. I'm still working on the radio stuff, so I got my radio right there. Working on all that kind of stuff right now, and that's a very nice image popping up on there right now.
Careful there.
Yeah, breaker 19. Okay, so listen, let me roll in the end. Let me roll the end in right now. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, listening, joining us live on Utreon. We really do appreciate you guys and all your support. Please go to hankstrange.com if you want to find out more about where we are, what we're up to, what we're doing, our other social media platforms, other places we're on. I think Lola and are we going to do a premiere, Lola, on Strangerpalooza? Yeah, at 11, Lola says we're doing a premiere on Strangerpalooza, so you guys can join us over there. Andy of Hightower Armory, thanks so much for being here. What are your words of wisdom, sir?
Don't let your meat loaf.
What? Say that again. Don't let your what, Mo?
Don't let your meat loaf. That's what I heard.
Don't let your meat loaf.
Don't let your meat loaf. Okay. Okay. Marinate on that. Marinate on that. Yeah,
do what you will.
Yeah, throw some ketchup on it.
Meatloaf, he died. I can't let my meatloaf.
That's true.
That's some kind of Wisconsin thing. I don't know what is happening.
Minnesota.
Sorry, Minnesota. My bad.
All the Midwest states are the same to you, huh?
Yeah, right. Okay, that was funny. Good night, everyone. We are out of here. I got to push the buttons. Everyone stay right there. I'm going to be pushing buttons right now. We'll see you guys next week. Peace. Press the button.
Getting a lot of likes on that Instagram post.
Press the button. Yeah, hopefully people went there and commented. Hold on, let me see. Let me finish here.